Good morning. Today we're going to discuss about the Romanticism or the Romantic period. So without further ado, let's go on with our topic. But before that, we're going to look into the timeline of the English literary period. So here they are. First, we have the Old English, the Renaissance period, the Puritan period, the Neoclassical period, the Enlightenment, and the Romantic period. So we notice here that the before the Romantic is the Enlightenment period. And there are other periods here, which is followed after the Romantic period. So before we're going to go deeper our topic, so I would like to ask you, what is Romanticism, or what comes into your mind when you hear the word Romanticism or Romantic period? I'm giving you 2 minutes in order to think about what Romanticism is. Okay, so time is up. So what is Romanticism? So I would like first to warn you before we go over to our topic. I would like to remind you or warn you that Romanticism has nothing to do with romance. Okay, so let us put aside the lovey-dovey in our head and let's go deeper in our topic. So after this video or after this discussion, you or we are expected to define Romanticism, consider the factor that led to Romanticism, know the Romantics, compare and contrast Romanticism and Enlightenment, identify significant Romantic poets and authors, and lastly, identify the major characteristics of Roman literature. So we have here the Romantic period, which lasted which began in 1789 and ended up in 1850. The Romantic period, it says here, is an artistic movement in Europe that redefined the ways in which people in the West thought about themselves and their world. So we have to put emphasis on the word artistic movement. So Romantic period is an artistic movement in this time span or time period. So it is recorded that the Romantic period was the shortest major era in the English literary history. So it only lasted 54 years, however, it only lasted 54 years, while the other periods lasted 100 years. Like for example, the English period, right, or the Old English period. So it was construed as a break from the Enlightenment. So construed meaning it is said to be a break from the Enlightenment. So after the Enlightenment, or the Romantic period is a break from the Enlightenment. So the Enlightenment is the dominant intellectual and philosophical movement in Europe, which established reason as the foundation of knowledge. So when Romantic period is an artistic movement, the Enlightenment is an intellectual and philosophical movement in which reason is said to be the foundation, or it is believed to be the foundation of knowledge. Okay, so we have to understand that the Romantic period is against the Enlightenment. Okay, so what is Romanticism? Romanticism is referring to a literature that is, meaning a literature, an artwork, or a poet, or poetry, a story like that. A literature that is written in the language of everyday people. So, meaning the language used is being used in this Romantic period. It is a literature that attempts to move away from rationality and towards aesthetic and artistic beauty. So when we say rationality, it is accordance to reason, right? So that is an attempt. So romanticism is an attempt to move away from that rationality or belief of rationality toward artistic beauty. And it focuses less on the society and more on the individual. So another thing is that romanticism is a motive that drives the mind to discover things that it cannot learn by rational or logical thinking. So it is a deeper look into our surrounding, into our nature world. That is romanticism. What led to romanticism? This is the second objective. So we're going to answer what led to romanticism. What is the reason why the romanticism or the romantic period arises? So romanticism began roughly around the time of the start of the French Revolution in 1789 and finished around 1850, as I've said a while ago, right? So what is this French Revolution? It says here, French Revolution is a time in France where people or the members of the society in France or people in France overthrew the monarchy and took control of the government. So um, they forcibly removed the monarchy and they took control over the government. So that is what led to Romanticism. Romanticism arises as a response to social and economic changes caused by the Industrial Revolution and Enlightenment. Okay, so we're going to know the Romantics. So who are these Romantics? So the Romantics basically are the people who believed in the power of the Romanticism, right? They take the side of the nature against industry. So they are more into nature and they are against industry. They viewed cities as grimy, ugly, and soulless. Okay. So they disagreed with the Enlightenment values of progress and rationality, especially progress as defined by technological advancement and urbanization. So they are against the progress from the urbanization or from the technological advancement. Okay, so they aren't into that kind of belief. So they believe that imagination, not reason, is best response to the forces of change. Okay. So we're going to move on to comparing the Enlightenment and Romanticism. We have here Enlightenment versus Romanticism. So Enlightenment, or also known as the Age of Reason, advocated reason to be the means in understanding the world and in improving human life. So they believe that is reason is a way in improving human life. So they are materialistic, like they believe that the progress comes from the technological advancement, right? So they view, or the Enlightenment thinkers view, the natural world as beautiful, benign, or kind, and orderly. The Enlightenment thinkers, such that of Immanuel Kant and George Wilhelm Friedrich, celebrated reason as the key to liberation from all forms of domination. So they believe that reason is a key to freedom from these all forms of domination, like the ignorance, the immaturity, down to poverty, inequality, and social justice. So they believe that reason is the key for all of these forms of domination. So if the Enlightenment thinkers view the natural world as orderly and benign, the Romanticism is different, or viewed the natural world as powerful, unpredictable, and destructive. So, so they have different belief, right? Romanticism believed that the world, rather than being beautiful only, is powerful, unpredictable, and destructive. That is why most of the artworks in the Romantic period is we have the wilder landscapes. We have here first, we have the first picture here, and we have also the storms. So it portrays a destructive natural world for the Romantics. Okay, so the Enlightenment thinkers, if the Enlightenment thinkers believed reason as a foundation of knowledge, so they believe that reason is a foundation of knowledge for the Enlightenment thinkers, while the Romanticism wanted to put emphasis on the importance of emotional sensitivity and individual subjectivity. That is why the Romantics viewed imagination, or considered imagination rather reason is the most important creative faculty. So they believe that imagination is the supreme faculty of the human mind. Romantic philosophy, imagination is the faculty that enables the human person to create reality. As William Wordsworth, one of the romantic poet, significant romantic poet, is William Wordsworth, who writes that through our imagination, we do not only perceive the world around us, but we create it. And I agree that this is true. So, as a break for our discussion, I have written here some words that we are going to classify, or either or what either if it is considered to be in the Enlightenment period or the Romantic period. So we have here reason, is it Enlightenment or Romanticism? The spiritual, man over nature; material, passion and emotion; laboratory observation; human nature, intuition and insight; and nature over man. So I would like you to classify this, or you can write a column and participate in our games. Okay, so I'll wait for you to classify those words or terms. Okay, so time's up. Time's up, and this is the answer. So we have here the Enlightenment versus the Romantics. So the Enlightenment is more, or believed reason as the foundation of knowledge, progress, right? And the Romantics believe passion and emotion or imagination. Um, the Enlightenment are more into human nature, while the Romantics are more in nature. So the man over nature is for the Enlightenment, and nature over man is for the Romantics, because they believe that nature is powerful, right? So the Enlightenment, material, and the Romantics, spiritual. The Enlightenment for the laboratory observation, because they believe in facts, science, right? While the Romantics for intuition and insight. Okay, thank you very much for participating, and let's move on to the next objective that is being to be discussed by Shane Balongay.